Today, we're making a layered Mandala Skull for Halloween. This project starts with applying paper masking tape on 1/8" cherry plywood to protect it from scorches and burns from my laser cutter. When I'm done applying the masking tape, I load up my Glowforge laser cutter, lay the plywood on a crumb tray, and start the cutting process. For layered mandala art, most people will cut the layers out of different species of wood or paint and stain them so that they look different. The contrast of lighter colors against darker ones will add to the dynamic visual quality of the art piece. For this skull, I decided to keep the finish to one type of wood. Personally, I like focusing on the depth created by the layers of wood and the outlines created from the laser cutting through the material and charring the edges. You'll see that the edges are really pronounced when it's burned by the laser. Coming up with the mandala art, which is all the symmetrical shapes that you see being cut here, is the hardest part of this project. There's a lot of critical thinking that goes into deciding where to cut the mandala pattern, how thick each line should be, and how it'll come together with each layer. If you're interested in learning more about my process, you can check out my Skillshare course linked in the description of this video of a similar project for a cathedral window piece. The laser file for this layered mandala skull is also available in my shop. This process took 24 minutes to cut all 3 layers from one piece of cherry plywood. Once the pieces were cut, I brought them over to my work table and organized them so that each layer was facing the correct direction. Now, we can remove the paper masking from the wood. It's important to remember that the skull isn't symmetrical, so we need to remember how the layers need to stack to create the layered effect. With the masking tape removed, I bring over a natural oil finish and a lint-free cloth and apply it onto the surface of the plywood. I'll apply it to the top side of the 2 layers with cutouts and to both sides of the bottom layer. Once the oil dries, I bring over my MaxiCure superglue and apply it onto the back of the middle layer. I focus on the perimeter of the skull and work inwards. When I started making these layered mandala pieces, I noticed that the perimeter of each layer were the areas that detach the most, so it's important to apply enough glue and to put a weight on top of the pieces to hold them together until they dry. With the glue applied, I turn over the piece, align it with the perimeter of the bottom layer, and press them together. Then, I apply glue to the backside of the top piece, turn it over, align the perimeter with the middle layer, and press it into place. Now, the layered mandala skull is complete, and this is how it came out. I love the way that the eyes and nose are cut out so that you can see completely through the piece. The bold outlines created by the burned edges of each shape adds to the depth created by the layers. If you enjoyed this project, check out my other woodcraft videos and consider subscribing. I'll see you again next week.